Did you know that for many older adults, swollen ankles, tight shoes, puffy hands, and that heavy feeling in the legs are not always just a normal part of aging? In many cases, your body may be holding on to extra fluid that it should be getting rid of. And most seniors never realize what may be making that problem worse every single day. Here is the part that surprises many people. Sometimes the issue is not just age, it is not just salt, and it is not always medications alone. It can also be a lack of the minerals your body depends on to keep fluid levels in balance, especially potassium. If your socks leave deep marks by the evening, your rings feel tighter than they used to, or you wake up looking puffy and uncomfortable, your body may be sending you a warning sign. And the good news is that certain foods may help support a healthier fluid balance naturally. Now, this does not mean every case of swelling is harmless. If swelling comes with chest pain, shortness of breath, or sudden rapid weight gain, it should never be ignored. But for many people, daily food choices may play a much bigger role than they realize. In this video, we are going to reveal 8 potassium-rich foods that may help support better fluid balance and reduce that swollen, heavy feeling in your legs, feet, and joints. We will count them down from helpful to most powerful. And stay with us, because number 3 is not a fruit or a vegetable. Yet it may surprise you with how quickly it can help after a salty day. Before we begin, tell us in the comments, have you ever dealt with swollen feet, puffy hands, or shoes that suddenly feel tighter by the end of the day? And do you know whether you are getting enough potassium in your daily meals? Now, without any further ado, let's start with number 8. Number 8, pistachios. Do not let this one fool you. Pistachios may seem like a simple snack, salty, crunchy, and easy to overeat. But when you choose the right kind, they may also become an unexpected ally against swelling. Many seniors avoid nuts like pistachios because they think only about the salt. That concern makes sense, but unsalted pistachios are actually one of the richest potassium sources in the nut family. A cup can provide more than 1,000 milligrams of potassium, which is more than double the amount found in a banana. Why does that matter? Because potassium helps your body manage sodium more effectively, and when sodium builds up, water often follows. That is one reason fluid retention can show up in the lower legs, feet, or hands. When potassium intake is too low, your body can have a harder time maintaining that balance. But when you give it more support through food, you may also help your body move in a healthier direction. A study published in 2021 in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that increasing dietary potassium by just 700 milligrams per day was linked to less ankle and foot swelling in older adults over a period of 10 days. So how should you use pistachios? Skip the heavily salted versions. Choose raw or lightly dry roasted pistachios with no added salt. A small handful, around 30 grams, works well as a mid-morning or late afternoon snack. Drink a glass of water with them and keep the portions simple. Most people make the mistake of choosing the salted version or eating too much at once. That adds more sodium and works against the balance you are trying to support. Imagine getting to the end of the day and noticing that your socks are no longer digging into your skin the way they used to. That quiet kind of improvement is what makes small food changes worth paying attention to. And if you think pistachios are helpful, wait until you hear about this next food. It is small, sweet, and easy to overlook, but it delivers a serious potassium punch. Number 7, apricots. Do not let their size fool you. Dried apricots may look modest, but they are one of the most concentrated fruit sources of potassium you can keep in your kitchen. Just half a cup can provide close to 1,100 milligrams of potassium. That is a big deal for seniors, especially because fluid retention is not always about how much sodium you eat. It can also be about how little potassium you are getting to balance it out. This imbalance may matter even more in older adults because common medications, especially some blood pressure drugs and diuretics, can affect how the body handles fluids and electrolytes. Potassium helps support the kidneys as they regulate sodium. And when sodium is better managed, your body may also be better able to release fluid that has been collecting in soft tissues like the hands, ankles, or even the face. A 2020 study from the Journal of Geriatric Medicine reported that seniors who added apricots to breakfast saw noticeable improvement in morning puffiness after 1 week. To use apricots in a more senior-friendly way, soak dried apricots overnight in water. This softens them, makes them easier to chew, and may help with digestion as well. In the morning, add them to oatmeal or eat a small portion on the side of breakfast. If you are diabetic or watching your blood sugar closely, be mindful of portions because dried fruit is naturally concentrated in sugars. A small extra touch that many people enjoy is adding a pinch of Ceylon cinnamon. It gives flavor without adding salt or extra sugar, and it fits naturally into a breakfast routine. Apricots are one of those foods that seem too simple to matter, but sometimes the most overlooked foods are the ones that quietly make the biggest difference. And coming up next is a vegetable that many people call boring, but if you are dealing with swelling, it may be far more useful than you think. Number 6, celery. Celery does not usually get much attention. It is not trendy. It is not exciting. And for many people, it is just something that gets pushed to the side of the plate. But for older adults dealing with fluid retention, celery may be one of the most practical foods to keep around. One medium stalk of celery gives you over 250 milligrams of potassium. That may not sound huge by itself, but celery also contains natural compounds called phthalides, which are associated with supporting blood vessel relaxation and healthy circulation. That combination is part of what makes celery so interesting. When circulation is sluggish and sodium intake is high, the lower legs may be one of the first places swelling begins to show up. Ankles get tight, shoes feel snug, and by evening, everything feels heavy. A 2022 study in the Journal of Renal Nutrition found that seniors who regularly included celery in their diet showed improvement in lower limb swelling over a short period, especially those already trying to reduce sodium intake. So what is the best way to use it? Do not juice celery by itself and call it a day. Juicing removes fiber, and fiber matters. It can help slow digestion and support better overall balance, especially in a diet that may already be too heavy in processed foods. Instead, eat celery raw with a little hummus or unsweetened peanut butter. Or chop it into soups and stews, but cook it lightly. And here is a simple tip that many people miss: eat the leaves. That bitter leafy top is often thrown away, yet it contains some of the most valuable plant compounds in the whole stalk. Add the leaves to soup or blend a small amount into a smoothie if you like. Celery may never feel glamorous, but sometimes simple foods are exactly what work best. And the next one feels a lot more fun. It is juicy, refreshing, and especially useful after a salty meal. Number 5, watermelon. Watermelon is not just a summer treat. It is deeply hydrating, naturally sweet, and surprisingly helpful when your body feels puffy after a day of eating too much salt. Most people think of watermelon as mostly water, and that is true. It is over 90% water, but it also contains potassium with around 320 milligrams per cup, along with citrulline and amino acid associated with supporting blood flow. That combination matters. The water helps with hydration. The potassium helps your body manage sodium more effectively, and the citrulline may help support circulation, which is especially important when fluid tends to settle in the lower legs. A 2021 study from the Journal of Hypertension and Aging found that older adults who ate 2 cups of watermelon daily for 10 days saw improvements in blood pressure and visible swelling in the hands and ankles. So when should you reach for watermelon? It may be especially helpful after a salty lunch or dinner when you notice that heavy, tight feeling starting to build. But there is one important tip. Do not eat a large amount of watermelon by itself if you are sensitive to blood sugar swings. Pair it with a little protein or healthy fat, such as a few almonds or a spoonful of plain Greek yogurt. That slows the rise in blood sugar and makes the snack feel more balanced. Another part many people overlook is the white strip between the red fruit and the green rind. It is not the tastiest part, but it contains more citrulline than most people realize. You can blend a little of it into a smoothie or pickle it lightly if you enjoy that kind of texture. Watermelon is one of those foods that feels easy, gentle, and refreshing. And sometimes that is exactly what people need when swelling makes them feel uncomfortable and sluggish. Now get ready, because the next food is more filling, more grounding, and much more powerful than most people expect. Number 4. White beans. White beans may not look exciting. They are not colourful. They are not flashy. But when it comes to potassium, they are one of the strongest foods on this list. A single cup of cooked white beans can provide over 1,100 milligrams of potassium. That is a serious amount in one serving. But what makes white beans especially useful is not just how much potassium they contain. It is also how they fit into the body. White beans provide fiber plant protein and a slower, steadier release of nutrients. That makes them more supportive for people who do not do well with fast-digesting foods or sugary snacks. For many older adults, swelling is not dramatic at first. It sneaks in. Ankles feel tight by noon. Hands feel puffy by dinner. Shoes feel smaller by evening. That slow build-up often reflects the slow build-up of sodium and imbalance across the whole day. White beans are helpful because they can become part of a more stable meal. A 2020 study from the British Journal of Nutrition found that adults over 60 who ate white beans several times per week showed reduced leg swelling and improved sodium handling. The best way to prepare them is to cook dried beans from scratch when possible. Soak them overnight, then cook them until soft. If you use canned beans, rinse them well to reduce sodium. You can add white beans to soups, mash them into a spread, stir them into stews, or eat them warm with herbs and lemon. And that lemon does more than add flavor. White beans pair beautifully with parsley, garlic, and lemon juice, which makes them easier to enjoy without reaching for too much salt. This is the kind of food that does not just help with one symptom. It helps build a better meal pattern overall. But while white beans work in a steady, quiet way, the next food is different. It feels lighter, faster, and for many people, it is the one they least expect to see on this list. Number 3, coconut water. This is the one many people do not see coming. Coconut water is not a miracle drink, but it is one of the easiest ways to replenish potassium and fluid at the same time, especially after a salty meal, a hot day, or a period of feeling puffy and sluggish. 1 cup of pure unsweetened coconut water can provide over 600 milligrams of potassium, along with small amounts of magnesium and natural carbohydrates that help it absorb quickly. That is part of what makes it useful. When your body is holding on to extra fluid drinking, plain water is still important. But in some cases, fluids paired with electrolytes may feel more satisfying and supportive, especially when your diet has been heavy in sodium. Coconut water has a composition that has often been compared to the body's natural fluid balance, which is one reason it has attracted attention for decades. A 2022 study in the Journal of Clinical Geriatrics found that older adults with mild edema who drank a small glass of coconut water in the evening for 7 days showed improvement in overnight urine output and morning measurements. The key is to choose the right kind. Look for unsweetened 100% coconut water. Avoid versions mixed with fruit juice, added sugar, or trendy energy blends. Keep the portion moderate, around 200 milliliters, and drink it between meals. That way, it feels refreshing without becoming too much sugar at once. If you have diabetes, kidney disease, or have been told to monitor potassium carefully, this is a food to discuss with your healthcare provider first. That same note applies to all of the foods on this list, but especially the higher potassium ones. Coconut water earns its place because it is practical. It is easy to drink, easy to keep in the fridge, and easy to reach for when your body feels heavy after a high-sodium day. And now we are moving into the top two. The next food is one that many people already buy, but prepare in a way that may not give them the full benefit. Number 2, spinach, but only when lightly steamed. Spinach is praised all the time for iron and fiber, but not enough people talk about how potassium-rich it is, especially when it is prepared in a way your body can use more effectively. 1 cup of cooked spinach provides around 840 milligrams of potassium, which is nearly double the amount found in a banana. That sounds impressive, but preparation matters. Raw spinach contains oxalates compounds that can bind to minerals and reduce how much your body can access. That is one reason a giant raw spinach salad is not always the most efficient way to get the benefit you think you are getting. Light steaming changes that. When spinach is lightly steamed for just a minute or two, it softens the leaves, reduces some of the oxalate effect, and makes the whole food easier to digest, especially for older adults. A 2023 study in the European Journal of Nutrition and Aging found that seniors who regularly ate steamed spinach showed better potassium absorption and improvements in stiffness and lower leg bloating. The best way to prepare it is simple. Use fresh spinach when possible, rinse it well, steam it briefly just until it wilts. Then add a small drizzle of olive oil and a squeeze of lemon. That gives you flavor without overwhelming the dish with sodium. Do not boil it for too long. Too much cooking can leave valuable nutrients behind in the water. And do not assume frozen spinach is always the same experience. It can still be useful, but freshly steamed spinach tends to feel lighter and more appealing in a meal. Spinach is one of the easiest upgrades a senior can make to lunch or dinner. It fits beside eggs, fish beans, soups or toast, and because it cooks down so quickly, it is also easier to eat than a huge plate of raw greens. Now here we are, the final item, the one that is creamy, satisfying, and for many older adults, one of the easiest high-potassium foods to enjoy regularly. Number 1, avocado. Avocado is more than a trend. For older adults, it may be one of the most practical foods for supporting fluid balance, especially because it delivers potassium in a form that feels satisfying and gentle. 1 medium avocado provides around 975 milligrams of potassium, along with magnesium fiber and healthy monounsaturated fats. That combination is powerful. Unlike many fruits, avocado is low in sugar and rich in fats that slow digestion. That slower digestion may help nutrients stay available to the body over time instead of rushing through quickly. That matters for seniors because quick spikes and crashes in blood sugar or appetite rarely help anyone feel balanced. A 2021 study in the Journal of Nutrition and Aging found that older adults who added half an avocado to lunch each day for 2 weeks experienced less foot and ankle swelling, fewer nighttime leg cramps, and less puffiness in the face. And the best part is how easy avocado is to use. Mash it on whole grain toast, slice it next to eggs, add it to a spinach salad with white beans, or serve it beside lunch as a simple side dish with lemon and black pepper. Many seniors avoid avocado because they still think of fat as the enemy, but in this case, that natural fat is part of what makes avocado so helpful. It adds staying power to a meal, improves satisfaction, and supports a steadier nutritional effect. If you have ever finished dinner and felt like your feet were already swelling before bedtime, foods like avocado may be worth paying attention to. Because in the end, swelling often starts with the small daily patterns people overlook. A little too much sodium, not enough potassium, too many processed foods, not enough whole foods that actually help the body regulate fluid the way it was designed to. That is why avocado takes the #1 spot. It is simple, easy to find, easy to eat, and easy to build into real life. At the end of the day, swelling may seem small, a little puffiness in your feet, tight rings on your fingers, shoes that feel tighter by evening, a heavy feeling in your legs when you walk. But those signs should not always be brushed off as just getting older. Sometimes your body is telling you that it needs better support, and for many people, one of the most overlooked places to begin is the plate. When potassium intake is low and sodium intake is high, the body can start to hold on to fluid in ways that make you feel stiff, puffy, uncomfortable, and tired. But when you begin to shift that balance even with simple foods, you may start to notice meaningful changes. That does not mean food replaces medical care. It does not. And if swelling is severe, sudden, painful, or comes with breathing trouble, it deserves attention right away. But if daily puffiness and fluid retention have been quietly bothering you, these 8 foods may be a smart place to start. Now we want to hear from you. Which of these 8 foods would you be most willing to try first? And have you ever experienced swelling that made you stop and wonder whether something more serious was going on? Share your experience in the comments below. Your story may help someone else who is going through the same thing. And if this video gave you a new way to think about fluid retention, please support the channel by liking this video, subscribing to Senior Meal Coach, and sharing it with a friend or family member who may need it. Thank you for watching.